Halloween, the night where fear becomes entertainment. We wear masks, carve pumpkins, and play at being monsters. We tell ourselves the fear isn't real, and the shadows on the street are just kids in costume. But what happens when the masks come off and the monsters are real? When the horror movies we mimic begin to play out in real neighborhoods, homes, parties, and even classrooms? Tonight, we step into a chilling pattern of crimes that happened on Halloween and the days around it. 3 different cities, 3 nights of chaos. This is filming your own stabbing spree on Halloween. The night real horror came home. Colorado Springs, the teacher and the knife. Halloween night, 2025, Colorado Springs, just before midnight. The last trick-or-treaters are home. The street's gone quiet. Inside one home on the 1,400 block of North El Paso Street, a 2-year-old sleeps. His father, 33-year-old Matthew Regnier, is awake, a teacher restless in the night. Regnier wasn't a stranger to responsibility. He was an educator, a caretaker, a man who worked with children. The kind of person communities rely on, patient, disciplined, and steady, or so it seemed. But on Halloween night, the mask slipped. At around 11:45 p.m., Colorado Springs police received a call. Multiple people were stabbed inside a home. When officers arrived, they found chaos. 3 victims, a man and 2 women covered in blood. And standing among them, injured but alive, was Matthew Regnier, with a small child in the room, unharmed but surrounded by horror. The man on the floor was 3 one-year-old Raimundo Medina Cabrera. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. The 2 women were rushed into emergency surgery, both in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. According to Regnier's own account, he woke up to change his child's diaper and became embroiled in what he described as a confrontation with another man. That confrontation turned violent. He reportedly grabbed a large knife, and in seconds, 3 people were bleeding on the floor. Police found blood smeared across the kitchen, overturned furniture, and signs of desperate struggle. The child, miraculously unharmed, was placed in protective custody. Regnier himself had minor injuries, treated at a hospital before he was taken into custody. He offered no public statement and no explanation that made sense. The investigation and charges, the Colorado Springs Police Department's homicide unit took over the case immediately. Evidence technicians combed through the home for hours, bagging knives, clothing, and blood samples. Neighbors were questioned late into the night. Detectives tracked phone records, social media, and prior contact between Regnier and the victims. By the following Sunday, the police announced the arrest. Matthew Regnier was charged with murder in the first degree, 2 counts of criminal attempt, murder in the first degree, 2 counts of first-degree assault, and 1 count of child abuse. He was booked at the El Paso County Jail after receiving treatment for his wounds. As of now, investigators maintain that all involved individuals were acquainted. For the city, it marked its 29th homicide of the year, a grim reminder of how frequent tragedy had become. At this time the previous year, the number had already reached 36. Who was Raimundo Medina Cabrera? The man who died that night, Raimundo Medina Cabrera, was just 31. Police haven't revealed the exact nature of his connection to Regnier, whether friend, roommate, or acquaintance, but they made it clear this was not a burglary, not a home invasion. It was personal. The real question is, what drives someone to that point? How does a teacher, a caregiver, go from protecting children to endangering them? Experts in behavioral psychology talk about acute stress breakdowns, episodes where suppressed rage, exhaustion, or psychosis overwhelms self-control. But even that doesn't fully explain the violence here. There were no reports of prior domestic abuse, no documented history of mental illness, nothing, at least publicly, that forecasted murder. Whatever happened inside that house, whatever words were exchanged, they flipped a switch that couldn't be undone. And while investigators continue to piece together the motive, The aftermath speaks for itself. Community reaction to the incident. In the following days, Colorado Springs mourned and searched for answers. Teachers, parents, and students from Regnier's former school spoke quietly among themselves. Some refused to believe it. Others just went numb. Of all the details in the police report, one stands out above the rest. A 2-year-old child was present through the attack. He wasn't harmed physically, but he saw the chaos, the noise, the blood. Child psychologists often note that such trauma, even at that young age, can shape the rest of a person's life. Flashbacks, anxiety, trust issues, all possible when the first memory you form of fear is real, not pretend. That child's future became collateral damage to an act no one understands. The district quickly confirmed Regnier's termination from employment, distancing themselves from the case. But the damage was already done. When someone trusted to educate children is accused of murder, the sense of betrayal runs deep. Local residents near Patty Jewett Golf Course described sleepless nights. Halloween decorations still hung from fences as police tape flapped in the wind. But the story doesn't end there. Hundreds of miles away, as Halloween turned to mourning, another life was about to end. Charleston, South Carolina. The Halloween apartment shooting, 12:45 a.m., November 1st. Students and friends filled the halls of 930 Nomo, a downtown apartment complex near the College of Charleston. Music thumped, lights flashed, and laughter echoed through the corridors. Until it didn't. Gunshots tore through the hallway. When police arrived, they found one man dead and another bleeding from the leg. The victim was Aiden Gore, a young man caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. The shooter, according to witnesses, was 20-year-old Zaire Christopher Nelson. Before the altercation, witnesses said Nelson had been showing off a handgun, waving it recklessly, pointing it, bragging. Moments later, the gun went off. As panic spread through the building, another individual at the party tried to defend Gore, firing back at Nelson, but no one else was hit. Police quickly secured the scene and charged Nelson with murder, assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature, possession of a firearm during the commission of a violent crime, and pointing and presenting a firearm. The Charleston Police Department confirmed the case remains active, and though the complex housed many College of Charleston students, none of the primary suspects or victims were enrolled. A party meant for celebration had turned into a funeral, and another Halloween was marked by death. The hallway where Gore was found was littered with spilled drinks, confetti, and blood. Witnesses later said the shooting happened so fast, no one realized what was real. Some thought it was fireworks. Others laughed until the screams began. By the time officers arrived, the killer had fled, the crowd had scattered, and the holiday that celebrates fear had become one defined by it. For Gore's family, there's no comfort in knowing it was just one bad night, because Halloween, for them, will never mean costumes or laughter again, only the echo of gunfire in a student hallway. Empire, California. The Halloween party shooting. Just 2 hours later, across the country, Halloween struck again. Empire, California, in Stanislaus County, a small agricultural town near Modesto, the kind of quiet place where everyone knows everyone else. But at a Halloween party on A Street, just after midnight, gunfire shattered the calm. Deputies arrived to find 2 men on the ground, bleeding. They began CPR immediately, but for 32-year-old Juan Loaiza, he was pronounced dead at the hospital. A second victim remained in critical condition. A third, injured but alive, had driven himself to another hospital for help. According to witnesses, chaos erupted the moment shots rang out. Partygoers fled into the dark, hiding behind cars and fences. When deputies arrived, the shooters were gone. No arrests, no names, just blood and silence. The Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit took over the investigation. But even weeks later, no suspects have been identified. And that's the most chilling part. Knowing that whoever pulled the trigger could still be out there. The pattern of Halloween violence, 3 cities, 3 different crimes, But one night, why does Halloween, the one day meant for harmless fear, so often spiral into real tragedy? Psychologists suggest a mix of ingredients: crowds, alcohol, darkness, anonymity, and the emotional tension that holidays bring. Masks hide faces. Costumes blur reality. People act out fantasies, sometimes violently. But beyond the theories, the truth is simpler. Halloween lowers our guard. We expect chaos, just not the kind that kills. There's a particular unease in crimes like these because none of the suspects look like monsters. A teacher, a 20-year-old partygoer, someone's neighbor, someone's classmate. That's what makes it terrifying. These aren't villains hiding in shadows. They're standing beside us, holding the same plastic cup, smiling for the same photos. Halloween gives permission to become someone else for a night. But for some, that illusion doesn't stop when the mask comes off. These cases force us to ask uncomfortable questions about domestic violence, mental health, and unchecked stress. We picture killers as strangers lurking in the shadows, but often, they're people who eat at our tables and teach our children. Halloween is supposed to let us play with fear, to make it safe, contained. Despite all this, every year, Halloween returns. The kids will dress up again. The lights will glow. The laughter will echo down quiet streets. This was filming your own stabbing spree on Halloween. May the victims, Raimundo Medina Cabrera, Aiden Gore, and Juan Loaiza, rest in peace. Thank you for watching. If these incidents gave you chills down the spine, leave a comment and make sure to stay safe next year's Halloween.